And then it came to me in a vision, the Vandit. If you know anything about me, I love vans and I love movie cars and theme vehicles and costumes. And I've built a lot of head turning vehicles, I guess you could say. When I was VP of AMS, I turned the shop van into a A-team van. I've built a couple Bluesmobiles, one of which me and Ed won the C2C Express in. And I had my pride and joy, my resto modded Bandit Trans Am. I love a theme and I love a van. So when it came time to get a new shop van for my McLaren shop, Cannonball Garage, and my CNC machine shop, MDI, I had already had a second generation Honda Odyssey, and it was kind of nearing the end of its life. We call it milk jug. It's white, so the idea is it looks like a turned over milk jug. But I wanted to do something that was more substantial. That's a funny little theme, but I needed something better. So I was coming back from the Amelia Island Concours in the Fraud Taurus with my buddy Sean, and it's like 1 in the morning, and we're just kind of running through ideas like what would be a good theme. And I knew I wanted to do a third generation Honda Odyssey. I had heard such good things about them, very reliable, practical, but I needed a theme. So we're tossing around ideas about an A-team van. So what we could do, but it's just so played out. And then it came to me in a vision, the Vandit, a Smokey and the Bandit, Trans Am, Honda Odyssey. I knew that's what it was going to be. So I got to work looking on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and I found the perfect donor, a 2007 Honda Odyssey Touring, 200,000 miles, perfect candidate, rust-free, great foundation for this build. Now, the most important thing for me was to find the right wheels. You needed some sort of gold wheel, and I didn't want to make anything custom. So I found these great 18-inch JNC wheels, tossed those on there, lowered it, did all the maintenance, and now it's time to really make this thing the Vandit. Now, I had to figure out if this is a trans van or a Van Zam. And after saying it out loud, the choice was pretty clear. This is a Van Zam. So now I need to get some artwork done. So I hit up my buddy Dan Gray, and I'm really good at having like ideas in my head. I'm terrible at getting them out and explaining them to people. But my buddy Dan has always knocked it out of the park for me. So I gave him this very vague idea for this black Trans Am-esque van and let him go to town. And he absolutely knocked it out of the park with this rendering. I was so happy. So I got that rendering over to my buddy Greg Zootbolder when he was with Sticker Dude at the time, and he got to putting on the stickers, but something was missing, and he nailed it. Pinstripes. The 78 Trans Am had all these crazy gold pinstripes, and he added that to it, and it absolutely popped. We were in business. So also added, you got to have the screaming chicken on the hood. I've got a plastic hood scoop that you get for like 30 bucks from Pep Boys. And on that, normally it says 6.6 liter. So since the Honda Odyssey has a 3.5, I put 3.5 liter on that. I put some fake air ducts on the side. This thing is really coming together. Got a Wilson CB antenna on the roof. I got the dual turn down chrome exhaust pipes. A little secret, one of them is fake. But it came out absolutely amazing. And of course, I didn't stop there. Got to go on into the interior with this thing too. So the 77 through 81 Trans Am had this kind of like brushed aluminum dashboard. So we made that out of vinyl. So covered the dashboard in this faux aluminum wrap, and got to add the radial tune suspension sticker. I mean, that was like so iconic on the Trans Am. By the way, what the heck is radial tune suspension anyway? Man, these people would fall for all these gimmicks back in the day. But it was really coming together. I've got my Galaxy gold chrome CB radio in there. I mean, you can't have a CB antenna and not have a CB radio. Of course, I'm going to be doing a little bit of speeding in this thing. I added the Redenzo DS1, a TMG laser jammer, and this thing was ready to go. But on all my theme vehicles, there's one important thing that you have to do. You need an outside stereo system. You know, you can pull up in this Van Zam Vandit, and that's all fun and games. But if you're playing the soundtrack to Smokey and the Bandit on the outside of the vehicle, I think that really makes it. So we got 4 Marine speakers in the spare tire well pointed down, and it absolutely cranks. So now I've built this van in secrecy. This is with all my theme vehicles. I'm always running around in the dead of night, moving this thing around from shop to shop, no pictures, because I gotta make a splash. So I needed an unveiling as ridiculous as this van was. So I hit up my buddy Rob from Cairo Creative. I mean, this guy is a media genius. He's done Super Bowl commercials. And I said, look, I've got this van and I need to do something that's just absolutely over the top. So he rents this warehouse from a buddy of his, smoke machines, my Dirty Bird Trans Am in the background, and me dressed as Burt Reynolds. And we had so much fun making this video about this thing. This is over like a $3,000 Honda Odyssey, and you would think we were shooting a music video. It was absolutely over the top, and it made quite a splash. People love this van. Now, I do get some pushback from people. A lot of people said you should have done it with a Pontiac van. And the reason I didn't was first, the Pontiac Transport is kind of looks like a spaceship. It just doesn't have the shape that I was looking for. So your only other option is the Pontiac Montana, which is first of all, it's a death trap, totally unreliable. I mean, realistically, this is a shop van. I needed to get to point A to point B, not break. And obviously, the Honda Odyssey is far more practical and reliable than any of those. And what's even funnier about this thing is everywhere I go, people love the Vandit. If I'm at the gas station, someone's always coming over to talk to me. And what's funny is I can't tell you how many times that someone's gone on and on about all this. They want to see all the details and stuff, and then at the end go, "Well, what kind of van is this?" They don't even realize that it's a Honda Odyssey. So I think my choice of a 3rd gen Odyssey was absolutely perfect because, people don't even know what it is. Another thing I get a lot is what's under the hood. They're expecting a turbo, something absolutely crazy, which, would be in my nature. I understand why they would think that, but it's actually completely stock. I've thought about turboing it, but these transmissions, they don't like that kind of power. They're lucky just to, handle what they've got. So I've actually left it stock. I know that you can do like an Acura 6-speed swap, but I just need this thing to get around, and I'm actually perfectly content with it being stock. That being said, if I was ever to modify this van, I think what I would do would be put a transverse mounted LS4 Chevy V8 in that thing, because that would sound so good, and I'm sure people would be looking around like, where's that sound coming from? The only problem I have with the Vandit is it came out too good. This was supposed to be a shop van that I was supposed to let my employees drive, but it came out so good that it just became my daily driver. So now I have to go buy another van to replace it. But I absolutely love this thing. And locally, it's kind of like a celebrity on the local car spotters page. This thing is showing up like 2, 3 times a month, and generally people love this thing. I don't get too much hate on it, but my wife and kids love driving it. My kids think it's hilarious that everyone's taking pictures and stuff. So it's kind of become my calling card. But it's funny, people ask me like, "Oh, what do you drive daily? You drive your Cannonball car or this or your Mercedes wagon and stuff?" I'm like, my go-to is always the Vandit. Whether it's family vacations, my wife borrows it. We put like 20,000 miles on this thing a year, and it's just so great to drive something that's so useful, so practical, that just makes people smile and turns heads and sparks conversations.
This month, the VINwiki Car Stories is brought to you by Extreme Experience. They give you the chance to get behind the wheel of the greatest supercars on earth at the most amazing racetracks in America. I know you'll love it. I just got the chance to drive their brand new Ferrari 296. I hadn't had the chance to drive the car. They had it in town. It was the perfect way for me to experience a great new car. But whatever your dream car is, you can drive it with Extreme Experience. It's also the perfect holiday gift for the car lover in your life. So check them out now at the link in the description below. Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, Porsche, all of it. So check them out now at the link in the description below to book your next drive with Extreme Experience.